Refugees from Complexity. In his fantastic new book, Out of Our Minds, What We Think and How We Came to Think It, the historian of ideas Felipe Fernandez Armesto writes a pithy description of the worldwide rise of populist nationalism. Quote, confused by chaos, infantilized by ignorance, refugees from complexity flee to fanaticism and dogmatism. End quote. It is a worldwide phenomenon. We are seeing the rise of a fanatical and dogmatic form of Hindu nationalism in India. Hungary is becoming a fanatical and dogmatic police state. Across the globe, we see the rise of fanatical and dogmatic far-right parties, such as the Danish People's Party, Alternative for Germany, Golden Dawn in Greece, the League in Italy, Front National in France, the Party for Freedom in the Netherlands, and Social Liberal Party in Brazil, and the list goes on and on. Here's something to ponder. The Yalta Conference of the Allies at the end of the Second World War featured leaders of what was known as the Big Three. And those leaders were Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill, and Franklin Roosevelt. Today, the leaders of those Big Three are Vladimir Putin, Boris Johnson, and Donald Trump. Here's what I've been wondering. Just as it has gotten a little bit fuzzy about who won the American Civil War, it's beginning to get a little bit fuzzy who won the Cold War. The right-wing populist movements across the globe are fanatical and dogmatic and based in fear. Islamophobia, white replacement theory, anti-immigrant sentiment, fear of the other. These tactics violate every humanist value. In marketing terms, we know that fear sells. It is visceral, it's automatic, it causes people to act. It's easy to sell the simple black and white thinking that grounds all of the populist right movement across the globe today. It's simple. All I have to do is figure out who the haves are and make them afraid of the have-nots. And not just any haves, of course, but the marginal haves, those sort of haves who are afraid of losing the very little amount of status and privilege that they consider a birthright. Those without the education to look at the bigger picture or to see the flaws in the logic. Across our globe, refugees from complexity are rushing to extremist leaders who have extremist policies, and everywhere is the effects of this refugeeing from complexity more dire than Across our globe, refugees from complexity are rushing to extremist leaders who have extremist policies. And nowhere is the effects of this refugeeing from complexity more dire than its impact on the very real and actual refugee crisis. Let's look at this from a slightly more complex view. Here in the United States, Pew Research indicates that 88% of the U.S. population's growth over the next 50 years will be from immigrants and their children and grandchildren. By 2045, all net growth in the U.S. population will be from immigration, those who come here today and those who arrive in the years to come. If they don't come, the U.S. will be in big demographic trouble. The state where I live, Minnesota, is in even worse shape demographically. We now have around 5.6 million people in the state. The population of Minnesota, given the current trends, including the current trends in immigration, will grow until 2025 and then begin a slow decline. Now, Minnesota currently has the highest per capita rate of immigration in the nation. Good on Minnesota. Immigration is the only hope for sustaining a functioning society as we know it today. It's just that Minnesota needs to encourage a whole lot more, not less, immigration. There are many reasons people become refugees. Being a refugee from complexity, however, that's a choice. It's a choice to ignore complexity chaos, and reality. Sure, chaos is confusing. Facts and truth are often difficult to find and difficult to decipher. But we don't have to run. We can stop and put on our thinking caps. The values of Unitarian Universalism and humanism call us to embrace complexity. That includes some complex ideas such as cosmopolitanism and multiculturalism. Yeah, sure, there are complications. Welcome to reality. My advice? Hug an immigrant today. Ask permission, of course. That immigrant may well save your life and your nation in the years to come.